Hello and magical welcome. Today we're gonna talk about Samhain and stay till the end because I'm having a special Samhain recipe for you. Let's start with what actually Samhain is, when we celebrate it, what are the traditions and history behind this festival. Samhain, also known as Halloween, the Hallows Eve, and the last harvest, maybe the third harvest of the year, is a holiday that celebrates the death, endings, beginnings, as well as the changes of the season. In the northern hemisphere, Samhain is celebrated around 31st of October, although the astrological date of this holiday falls between 6th and 7th of November, when the sun enters 15 degrees of the sign of Scorpio. In the southern hemisphere, this holiday is celebrated on the 1st of May. The word Samhain means the summer's end, and traditionally Celtic people used to see this as the liminal time between the light half of the year and the dark half of the year. This was the time when the spirits roam freely around the world, and people used to protect themselves by lighting big fires and maybe protecting with some herbs and charms. One of the most common traditions was to carve turnips in scary faces and lit the candles inside them. This was serving as a protection from the evil spirits, but also for lighting the road for the ancestors. Now we're gonna jump into the rituals that you might want to try during Samhain. The first one is dressing up and having scary costumes. This comes from a tradition of people using the scary costumes to resemble the scary spirits that roam around this time of the year. This is quite common these days, especially during the modern Halloween, that everyone dresses up, goes for the parties or trick-or-treating. You might also want to include this in your practice. In the 17th century, the love divination became popular on this day. Women used to do different things, such as apple bobbing or fire nut cracking, to know the name of their future loved one. So that's where the idea of love divination comes from, but you might also include any other divination that is focused on predicting the year ahead, seeing the patterns of the year to come, as well as maybe having a divination practice to release something, to see what needs to be gone from our lives. If you want to follow this topic a little bit, you might want to try a new divination technique, such as scrying, looking into mirrors, reading tea leaves or pendulum, whatever you are drawn to, you might want to try on Samhain. I mentioned a little bit that Samhain is seen as a time of releasing and banishing. It can be used to let go of negative habits, of negative thought patterns, of anything that doesn't serve us. A simple ritual of writing the things that you want to release on a piece of paper and burning it in order to become free of them in the new witches year. Since I mentioned a little bit about the new witches year, you might want to also try to write some resolutions and goals for your practice. Samhain is an exceptional time for doing this, and you might benefit from it, or it's just a great thing to try on this magical night. As I mentioned a little bit about the history, how people used to protect themselves from fairies, evil spirits and roaming ghosts, you might want to include some protection in your magical working of that day. I'm gonna link below and somewhere above the protection spell jar I made a couple of weeks ago, and you might want to try this one or something different that will protect you during this liminal time of the year. Another common theme for Samhain is ancestral work and connecting with our ancestors, honoring them, maybe having a dawn supper, a silent supper to commune with them. There are many ways that you can honor your ancestors. For example, lighting a candle, playing their favorite music, preparing some dishes that they loved, leaving them offerings of food and drink, just having a nice memory of them, maybe seeing the pictures, maybe putting their pictures on your altar, lighting some incense, singing their favorite songs, and just focusing a little bit of your time in the ancestral practice. During Samhain, the veil between the worlds is the thinnest. This means that the physical, mortal world and the spirit world are very close to each other, and this allows the spirits to come to our own world, but also us to commune with the spirit world with more ease. So, for example, the work that is designed to commune with the spirit world, maybe connecting with your spirit guides or any sorts of astral travels, lucid dreamings, psychic work is good to be done during this time. It might be done with more ease and have general success doing so. My next ritual I want to mention is carving pumpkins, or traditionally turnips or beets. You can do it with your kids or with your friends, family, do as a part of practice and have intention behind doing this. Maybe you want to offer this pumpkin for your ancestors or maybe from protection. And remember to always use up the filling of the pumpkin. It can make a delicious pumpkin soup or pumpkin bread or anything that you wish to include this beautiful vegetable in. And coming to the topic of the food, Samhain is also great for having a feast as usual with the festival. In your Samhain food you can include pumpkins, apples, pomegranates, anything that comes from the root, like root vegetables, maybe roast potatoes, roasted pumpkins, carrots, beets, turnips. You might want to include some apples. I did this amazing apple pie recipe from Annie the Green Witch, so I'm gonna link her video below. And coming to the extra recipe I have for you, this is a very delicious vegan pumpkin soup that you might want to try. It's super tasty. It tastes like autumn, and I'm gonna show you this video of a recipe now. Today we're gonna make a pumpkin soup, actually a butternut squash soup with some carrots, onion, a little bit of chili, and that's it basically. I'm gonna tell about the spices and additions later on. First we're heating the pan. Now we put some olive oil. There is like one medium size roughly chopped onion. Second I have 2 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped. A little bit of salt. Next I'm gonna drop half of the chili. The next I'm gonna season it with black pepper, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of turmeric, and a little bit of nutmeg, and mix it. I have also about 2 centimeters of ginger. You can just add a little bit of water. And the last spice I'm using is sugar. To that we're gonna add 3 roughly chopped carrots and half of the butternut squash, like medium size butternut squash. Add a little bit of salt, a little bit more, like a pinch. I like to add bay leaves for cooking, but I'm taking them out before I blend the whole soup. So 3 bay leaves, and water comes next. And that's it for this part. We're gonna boil this in a low heat for a long time, like approximately 30 to 45 minutes. and I come back when it's ready. So now we're gonna add like half of the coconut milk, let's say 200 milliliters, and blend it. Thank you for watching this video today. I hope you got some insight and inspiration for celebrating your Samhain. Thank you for all of the patron and support I get from you. It is really important for me because without it I wouldn't be able to provide these videos and information and printables for you. So I'm super grateful for everyone that decides to support my channel and support my magical work, and I hope you will have a great use of everything I provide. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like this type of content. Thank you again. Have a blissful rest of the week and the season.